welcome back to Smashing Nets Podcast. This is our recaps for the Gauntlet 2 episodes 10 and 11. My name is Zach, and I'm joined by my best friend Jake.
How's everybody doing?
You held
tonight?
your hands up, so I was ready to introduce you.
I'm borderline on injured reserve right now. Designated to return.
Yeah. PUP.
Yeah, I'm playing injured tonight.
Yeah. Me too. But injured with my lungs. Hannah's here too.
Hey.
We're recording later because I had the flu all last week, and I still have a residual.
I swear to God,
cough.
if you get me sick,
He's not contagious anymore.
I haven't had fever since last Tuesday, and today's Monday. So they said as long as I was 48 hours free.
And a lot of people said they wouldn't get COVID either, and look what happened.
Well, guess what? I still haven't had it, but I got the flu.
I'm 90% positive you had it before it was like a big outbreak.
Yeah, but I mean, technically,
You've not been diagnosed with it
yeah.
because the doctors and nurses, all of your tests came back negative, and they're like, we don't know what to do, so we're just going to tell you have flu.
That was in December of 2019.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled my ankle.
Yeah.
Jumping on trampolines.
Yeah.
That's what you get for acting childish.
It literally looks like a fat person's ankle.
Hmm.
You know, like, and not only are we FTK, we're FTFP, we're for the fat people. So
Okay.
So it's not but you know, when you're bigger, you get what are called cankles.
Yeah. You used to have that regardless.
High school, all throughout high school.
I know skinny people that have cankles.
You were very oddly proportionate. Like
I was built very strangely.
Like your upper body didn't gain weight, but your legs were like 70% of your mass.
It's like your waist down.
Right.
It was weird.
It was really weird.
It was real. One time your brother, Rodney,
the one that's disappeared.
Yeah, the one that we don't know where he's at. He brought me and someone else into your room, and you were asleep. And he's just like, look at those legs.
I actually remember that. He like pulled the covers up.
Because he was in his boxers laying on top of the bed.
That's super weird.
It was
nothing inappropriate happened.
But it's weird that
literally
happened.
Just like...
That's so weird.
Look how big his legs are. Yeah, it's...
It was odd because, like, you weren't in shape, but, like...
No, it was not big, like, muscular. It was big, like...
But your upper body just didn't gain weight.
Yeah.
It was odd.
I've always been flat-chested, so I didn't have, like, salami nipples or anything.
Well, that doesn't
now,
change.
he did.
But I think that's just more like genetics. That's not...
Do you think it's just genetics you get from your dad? Because I've noticed your brother has come out to hang out with us, and he's worn, like, kind of like short shorts.
He wears
before,
short shorts, yeah.
Which is fine. Men's short shorts are in right now. But I noticed he's kind of shaped the same way.
He also walks very uniquely.
Your dad or your
Yeah.
brother?
My brother.
Yeah.
He walks
He does.
from waist up, he's very upright. And his chest is out.
He does.
But
He sticks his chest out.
He
But it's almost like
swings them hips. It
almost
is
like he sticks his butt out, too.
He's like one of those like Jesus lizards.
Yeah, it's...
The ones that run across the water. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just genetics that you've got to get from your dad.
Yeah. I mean, I still have pretty thick legs.
It's not the same. It's not
the same
now.
No. Because you work out all the time now.
I do.
Not so much right now because your ankle is the size of a baseball.
It's pretty bad. It looks much worse than it feels.
That's good.
It looks really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll again. Those trampoline parks, they'll get you.
Yeah.
One of my friends that you and I both saw yesterday, she mentioned how she kind of did something similar recently and was on crutches and in a boot for a while. She said after you walked away, she told me that
she hates you.
She said one, she hates you. Two, she thinks that you're stupid. Three,
wow, really?
Also,
sorry if I cough. By the way. I'm trying to do it off mic.
She told me, she's like, you better tell him to quit walking around so much and try and like sit down and rest as much as possible, because she said that she had the same thing. She rolled her ankle. It looked horrible, but it didn't feel so bad. So she kept just doing her normal routine, walking everywhere, and it ended up breaking her ankle.
Well, I have been on my feet.
This doesn't look like bone, though. It looks more like the way it's
Tendon.
swelling, like ligaments and stuff.
That's what I thought, but she just mentioned that, and I was like,
That sounds like she had a hairline fracture and then she just broke it all.
Yeah.
Because when I was putting this wrap on it, I was like bruised like down on the heel too.
It like went down. I saw the picture you posted earlier.
That's what
it like
happened.
went down your foot, and it's like blue and black and super gross. Also,
That's what
I hate
happened when I
feet, so please
tore all
stop posting pictures of your feet on Instagram because I don't want to see it.
That's for your OnlyFans.
Right.
Yes, I'm gonna block you.
Legs are really white too. I'm incredibly pale.
It's weird. You showed me your ankle yesterday, and I didn't think it was your skin.
Yeah. Well, they had put some sort of weird ointment on it, like natural oil stuff.
Like
I don't-
Crisco.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's gonna make it look like you put chalk on your skin.
Well, speaking of being pale, if you know my girlfriend, she's not pale.
No,
And she makes comments all the time about how pale she is, to which I eye roll.
because
there's nothing worse
Then she's
than-
basically saying you're translucent.
There's nothing worse than actually being pale.
I disagree with that. There's probably a lot of things worse than being pale.
It's pretty horrible, though.
There's nothing worse though.
Being a paraplegic is worse than being pale.
Yeah.
Being blind is worse than being pale.
There's
Being
a
deaf is worse than being pale.
there's a lot of things that are worse. We know the palest boy in the world. He's the one that's also like he's been like
Yeah.
he's our age, but he's like 70 years old.
Right.
Always has been. Yeah. You going to yawn now? You done?
It's been a long day.
All right. Well,
You don't have those days? It's Monday.
it is Monday.
Is it?
Mondays are
Oh
tiring,
my
y'all.
gosh! I thought
Yeah.
it was
Again,
Tuesday.
I'm trying to not cough on the mic. I've got cough drops in. I took my cough medicine earlier. I'm trying. This is all that's left from the flu is the residual like
Lingering
little coughs.
cough.
Good thing is it's not too bad. It's just every once in a while.
It goes throughout the night though.
Go ahead and place your bets. Over under 7.5 coughs.
Oh, that's probably a good number.
That's
honestly,
a good number.
That's like Vegas odds.
Yeah.
I'm over.
Place your bets.
I'm saying
Hold on.
over.
Oh,
Does that count?
No.
Yes, it
What?
does.
Yes, it
No,
does. He
got-
already proposed
Yeah,
it.
but I got it out too specifically. Did you? I just forced myself to do it.
No.
Yes, I did.
Well, I was
I
gonna
don't
count
care.
The first two you had.
Well, you can't count.
I wasn't going to count those, but I was going to count any coughs after you proposed the bet. And I told you what I was betting. I said it would be over 7.5. That counts. It's not my fault that you're throwing yourself out with the trash.
What if I bet over 7.5? Like again, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, you didn't say it. I said it first. So your bet is under 7.5.
that's
My
not
bet
how-
is
that's
over
not how
7.5.
betting works.
Well, it's how it works in this house.
It's a weird house.
Yeah.
But I agree. That cough should count.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get into episode.
Patreon.
Oh, sure. Patreon.com/Mashinette's podcast.
Merch.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
Nobody ordered a shirt or nothing in months. You bunch of jerks.
The Gauntlet 2.
We made them shirts. we made those
It
shirts.
sound like we
And that
handmade them.
duvet and all these
We didn't make
coffee
the
mugs
duvet.
specifically for you.
We slaved
nobody
for
ordered
6
them.
months.
Nobody.
Learning how to sew
Yeah,
and
we
screen
had like
print
4
t-shirts.
people place orders.
Oh, we're off the rails tonight.
FTKMA.
What?
For the kids, am I right?
Yeah, the MA is am I right?
Let's
All
see
right.
if somebody can figure that out.
Yeah.
Drop in the comments. Let's know what you think.
Episode 10. It starts off with Jody and Alton flirting, which they then do like a cut to like his, I guess, previous thing he was on. I don't know. And he's talking about how he just got out of a serious relationship. I didn't know who that girl was.
No idea.
I didn't recognize her. I didn't know the name.
This is the first I've noticed Jody and Alton notice each other in a romantic
so you noticed them
view.
notice each other?
No, the thing is, like, she's been hung up over Mark. I just didn't realize that she and Alton had been
that
looking
was
at
like
each other.
that was like episode 4.
Yeah, but it's not been 3 months.
It's been, hey, in the
are
challenge
living in
house,
the
it's been
same-
a while.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
well,
stuff moves fast in those houses.
they both admit to the confessional camera that they are attracted to each other.
Yeah, but he's like, he's like, I'm not in a place that I know. Like later on, he kind of clarifies where he's at.
Well, he said love is a weird thing.
He did. It is a weird thing.
It is.
Could be an episode title here.
Sure. I didn't write that down.
I think we'd all agree
I don't know
here.
if I have any quotes for this.
I
this
do.
episode.
I've got "You're a bunch of idiots." What's the arm grab for? Love is a weird thing. Who wants it more? It's like I'm dying or something. It's weird.
Oh, did you get the one? Hold on.
He just read all his.
From. Why is it congratulations?
Oh, who said that?
Oh,
Kara.
Kara? Oh, yeah.
Well, it then cuts to Beth and Cyrus kind of scheming together, and I'd guess that they would be like two of the like older people on the show still at this point.
Well, Cyrus is Beth's only friend in the house. Everybody else hates her.
I don't blame him. But yeah, he she asked, who do you think the weakest guys on your team are? And he says Brad, and then probably me, honestly, which that's very self-aware. But I was like, I don't think I'd put Brad in like the weakest guys.
I wouldn't have
on
put
this
Brad
team.
there.
I would not.
And yeah, I put Timmy, and and I like Timmy a lot, but like, I just think Brad's probably a better competitor,
Maybe.
especially like in the long run. Now that we've seen Brad's career.
Derek wore that stupid blue Mario hat again, and it made me so angry that it happened. I wish that it wasn't real and had never been made.
Yeah, it's not really it's like a knitted hat.
But it looks like a cartoon Mario hat.
Well, it reminds
that
me
a
of
character
those
would
like
wear.
Rastafarian hats. That
The
like,
ones that come with dreads.
Well, the people that have dreads like put them up in those hats, but he doesn't have dreads or nearly enough. So it almost is like he stuffs it with something.
Well, I told you, I said it's like he fills it with like the little beans that you put in bean bags.
Well, that doesn't mean I would think it's like socks or t-shirts or something. I don't think he just carries around a bunch of beans.
You think he fills it with clothing articles from his suitcase?
I think that's way
To
more
fill it
probable
up?
than beans.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking here? Llama baked?
No, have you ever?
No, not
From
like
a bean
eating
bag.
beans.
Oh.
The little tiny silicone
Have you ever
beans.
opened
You know
those
what was-
before?
You know what was super cool back in the day? Hacky sacks.
Okay,
Okay, but you don't wear those on your head, and they're not
it's the same.
twice
That
this.
knitted material though. It's similar.
But this hat is like twice the size of his head, and it's an obnoxious color, and it's ugly, and it makes me angry to look at with my eyeballs.
It's baby blue.
Has he got like a white button up on with it?
Oh, I don't know. I just kind of saw it in passing.
He thinks this hat is baller, and I hate it so much. I hate it.
It's a different time.
Yeah,
No,
it'll come
even
back
in the
around again
time, no,
sometime.
it won't. Even in this time period, this was not a real
I
thing.
winked at
Can
Jake.
you imagine if not only is he wearing that hat, he's got a nice solid pair of Crocs on too, same color.
He would.
That's a good look.
It's not a good look.
Yeah.
It's a bad look.
Christmas is coming up, man. So
I
There's
guess
a
it
lot of
always
things
is.
coming up.
I guess it always is once it passes. So we go to the daily. It's called Buccaneer. New daily prize this week. The winner gets a Magellan Roadmate 760 GPS.
I was gonna say Fandango, but that's next episode.
That's next
That
episode.
is next episode.
Yeah, which I remember the days of having to have a separate GPS because it wasn't on your phone.
Yeah,
I do
I had a TomTom hooked up in my first car.
Yeah, I had a Garmin one that I kept in my car.
That was a Christmas gift I got just like 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
Really?
You got it?
5 or 6 years ago.
In,
I'd
in
say
2017.
I'd say 6 years ago. Yeah.
Really? I mean, I had mine when I went to college, which was like 2007, 2008, because iPhones and stuff didn't have turn-by-turn GPS. They just had, like, they would give you directions, but it was almost like MapQuest used to be, where it was like, all right, when you get to this road,
man.
turn left.
I remember
Yeah.
the days of printing off.
Yeah.
I
like,
did
going
too.
driving, like, Florida and, like...
Yeah.
Anytime me and my mom went anywhere, she would print off the MapQuest, and I would have to be the one to read the map to her.
That's a wild time.
You just had to
Yeah.
kind of like guesstimate how many miles you'd be in, or like remember what you're like.
Yeah, odometer.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I still can't gauge like how long a mile is.
No, she can't.
I can't. I really can't, and I'll own up to it. I don't care.
We'll be on, like, mile marker, like, 144, and it'd be like, in 10 miles, take the exit to the right. It's like, I gotta get over.
I didn't understand what a mile marker was until like 2 or 3 years
God.
ago.
You're not helping
It's
yourself.
very recent
So
that
it'd be
I've understood. Oh, that little sign with that number. That's what that is.
So a totally realistic thing would be you're at mile marker 144. 10 miles, you gotta make your turn, which was 154.
Yeah.
146 comes up, gotta get over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's.
No, at 141 you got to get over. You got to be ready.
Wait, is it going backwards?
Wait,
Well, I guess some direction it goes down. I'm talking about.
We were going up.
We were going
Yeah,
up.
we are.
okay. Well, as soon as it says in 10 miles you're going to take a right, you need to be getting in the right hand lane.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes, and we've talked about this before. I've had people defend me. It is the safer way of driving. The people that wait until they have half a mile to get over in horrible congestive traffic
Nobody said
are trying
that.
to cut people off
Nobody
to make
said
their
that.
turn, and then they cause a wreck.
No.
But if you go ahead of time and you try and get in your designated correct lane, you're not causing a wreck.
Sounds like you need some new friends in.
That is circumstantial at best. You can't say if you get in the lane early, you will not cause a wreck. That is asinine.
Not the one causing wrecks.
You can't refute it.
No. Well, it doesn't matter. Google Maps, Apple Maps on our iPhones are wonderful now, especially if you have an Apple Watch, because then it like hooks up to your watch, and your watch will like vibrate and ding when it'll say like, oh, in 500 feet, turn left. Like
That's
it'll
way too close for you.
It is. I don't care. But to make my point, it's a lot easier to get somewhere now as it was when like I was in high school, because even in 2011 when my parents got me my car, it had like the little built-in GPS thing that you could take out, because this was around the time that everybody was buying them for their older cars, and you just plug it up to like your
Cigarette thing.
yeah, your cigarette lighter
That's a
thing.
whole nother thing. Like,
I know, your phone charger outlet or whatever. But even that TomTom from 2011 was still kind of hit or miss sometimes.
TomTom was also one of the three ninjas. Tum-Tum.
Tum-Tum.
That's right.
Because
Tum-Tum.
he was kind of chubby.
Yeah.
He's a little one.
Yeah, he's the youngest one.
Was he the one that gave the guy diarrhea in that one? There's one of the movies. They pour a bunch of laxatives in like a drink, and the guy breaks in their house and he drinks the drink, and then they throw a bunch of CDs at him like ninja stars, and then he has diarrhea.
I can't remember. I'm personally a favorite. Like my favorite.
It wasn't a Mega Mountain.
It was.
I'm saying the one that I'm talking about.
Oh, Hulk Hogan was in it.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan wasn't in this one.
That scenario is not very plausible. Somebody breaks in your house and decides to drink a pre-made drink.
Well, he did it.
But that doesn't happen in real life.
Well, guess what? There's not three prepubescent ninjas running around sporting crime. So the rookies go first in this daily, and I was like, that's honestly probably an advantage, because the team that has to like buck them off first is going to be using so much energy and strength that by the time they get up there, it's going to be a lot harder to like. You just wasted a lot of energy, basically. Mm-hmm. And so none of the rookies fall off. And
the vets did a really bad job at pulling the ropes.
They did, but honestly, like it looked like it was a hard daily to do.
Yeah, I mean, after watching the rookies try and do it, then I kind of thought, oh, well, maybe this is harder than I thought. But
it looked like it was hardly moving.
Yeah,
that was the thing. It looked like the vets made it a super easy ride for the rookies. Like, it's probably something we could have done.
What do you mean by that?
Like, be the riders, because they just weren't moving it very much at all.
I mean, I would say yes, but you're acting like that's like a low bar.
It is a low bar. We're not
Jake
challengers.
and I are good at things.
Okay.
Yeah, just in general.
I think so.
Yeah, that's an easy bar. I wouldn't have fallen off. They then the rookies switch, and they have to try to knock the vets off, and Jody tells everyone they need to split up more and like push to opposite ends to like kind of rock it more, and that's what does it. And then Cyrus falls off, and I was like, you know what? I figured by them showing that like clip with Cyrus and Beth earlier that it's going to set up a Cyrus themed episode. And so Cyrus falls off. The vets now have lost 4 dailies in a row.
Derek's really upset about it.
He is. Again, completely different. Like, they go into their deliberation exact opposite of what the rookies do. Like, they do the whole secret voting thing, and
But also, Derek pulls a 180. You know, a few episodes we saw where he came in and he was yelling, saying, we just need to have everybody stand up and say names and who we think needs to go in. He walks in this room and says he doesn't even want to say names to vote for anybody because he likes everybody that's left on the team and he doesn't want to do this. Yeah,
but they've been writing down the names for a while now.
I know, but I just noticed Derek specifically had completely turned a new leaf where he wanted to be very confrontational and very angry and call people out in front of the whole room. At this point, he said he didn't even want to do that.
Yeah,
he was upset about losing another team member.
Yeah, they didn't show the count of the vote or anything, but it ended up being Cyrus. Everyone I think knew it was going to be Cyrus.
And yet again, Captain's choice.
The next episode happens again. Yeah. They need to fix that wheel.
It's weird.
Something's wrong with that wheel.
It's weighted weird or something. Like the probability that it would land on Captain's choice that many times is...
It's almost exclusively.
It's crazy how many times it does it. So... There's one.
Two.
So, out of everything, he picks Beach Brawl, which does probably favor Cyrus better. Like, that's probably the number one thing Cyrus would want. Because he's not going to want, like, the net climbing one or, like, I don't know. Like, it seemed weird that this is what you pick because they were like, Cyrus is 230 and Derek's 160. And that's a pretty big...
You know, people have always said this about Derek, and I think going back and watching this, should remind everyone. I mean, pound for pound,
he's hard to beat.
He has to be one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Because he's, out of all the greats, he got to be the smallest one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he probably is the smallest, like, really. Jordyn's not very big, but I think Derek's probably smaller than him. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially height-wise. But Jordyn's in the Ukraine right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Johnny Bananas is in the Ukraine. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see
that. I did, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Good
that.
eye.
Somebody wrote an article. I saw it earlier today where he kind of was recounting what all he had seen so far.
Oh, and apparently that's my fault. Apparently, you're not supposed to call it the Ukraine. You're supposed to say in Ukraine. But for some reason, the Ukraine sounds right to me.
That's probably all that we've ever heard.
Yeah. Anyway, so I picked Beach Brawl. Derek goes and talks to Alton and Jody, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna pick like coconut names or whatever it is," and they're like, "Why did you pick Beach Brawl?" And he's like, "I don't know."
He actually starts showing he's a little nervous at this point.
I mean, Derek's never, like, great competitor, never been known as, like, a critical thinker.
Yeah.
I was surprised that he said, it's almost like he thought he was saying something else and Beach Brawl just came out.
It's like that was the only thing that he could think of was, like, Beach Brawl, because he had just done it against...
several other people.
Yeah, I guess... Who
that's
else?
the elimination.
He did it against that guy,
Ace.
that real Ace. Yeah, Ace, and then that real angry guy from... Oh, wait, no, I guess the angry guy was against Alton. The one that we looked up and we found out he died.
Sad, man.
I don't even remember his name.
I don't remember.
Sorry, guy.
Ideal when you just wanted to lock in the victory would have been the one where they climbed the
net.
That's
what I was thinking.
Capture the flag. That's the one I thought
that's the one that Alton did in like 3 seconds.
He was going to pick, and then he didn't.
So they get down to the beach. Initially, Derek is in jean shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Now when they started, he actually was in like normal shorts, but I was like, "Do you think he wore that down there?" And they were just like, "What are you doing? Like, you got to oil up and like you need to go change."
I thought that if you were competing in the Gauntlet, you had to come like dressed and ready to go.
That's what I'm saying. Like so far, just whatever they're wearing is what they wear in the Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. But we've seen people in cargo shorts.
Yeah. He had on jean shorts, but then when they cut to them oiling up, he had on these like maroon. And so I was wondering if they're like, you gotta go change, man. Like, go home.
Like, you can't do this in jean shorts.
Go home, fly back to the U.S., go get you some clothes.
There was like Cyrus was wearing shoes and Derek was not. And I don't know which is better, honestly, because shoes in the sand, I don't know if that may be a disadvantage.
It seems like it would be.
Because, like, I don't know, sand's just a weird thing. But anyway, they start going, and it's best of 5.
5.
Yeah, you got to win 3. And they start, and Derek just goes, and I don't know if Cyrus is just caught off guard. Or
Well, Derek, like, immediately goes low and grabs Cyrus's leg and pushes him out. Like, it's over in a second.
He pins his arm, like, kind of down to his leg, and that's what Cyrus gets upset about.
He starts yelling and cussing, and he's like, what was the grab for? What was the grab for? And I didn't understand why he was so upset. It was almost like he didn't know, like he hadn't been paying attention any of the other times Derek has done this elimination and didn't know that you could grab somebody.
Well, he then got mad because he said Derek touched the ground first, and they're like, no, he didn't. They're like, you did.
Mm-hmm.
But he was upset about his arm being grabbed, and it's like, it's wrestling. Like, what do you expect?
He can put you in a headlock if you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even when Cyrus won the 3rd round, Derek kind of did the same thing. He started yelling at TJ. He's like, he touched the ground first. He touched the ground first. And TJ was like, no, I watched it.
Yeah,
he didn't.
Cyrus thought in round 2, Derek went out again, and he didn't. And then by round 4, like, Derek just wins. And, I mean, it's a good win for Derek. That's a bad loss for Cyrus.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like, every single person's like, he outweighs him by 70 pounds. And it's just like, bad technique, way too high, because Derek just went low every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And even the one round Cyrus won, like, Derek almost, like, they went out at the same time. It's just Derek landed first. So Beth cries over Cyrus leaving, and I guess they're friends outside of the show. I don't know. Were they on the same feeder season together?
I tell you, one thing I don't do, Zach, before I watch these seasons is research.
Yeah, I know that to be true. I just don't even know what either of them are from. She's from. You know what? I know they're not because she's on that Paramount Plus Homecoming thing they're doing where they bring all the real world people back.
Mm-hmm.
She's on the most recent one, and he's not on that. And because a lot of people are like, oh, she'll get to see how like awful she was back then.
Do we know if those are any good?
I don't even. I'm sure a handful of our patrons have watched them, but I honestly haven't seen many people talk about them. And so that
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't seen much talk.
To be fair, maybe once they if they keep doing it, get into more recent seasons, like with more challenge people, maybe that's more exciting. Like if they did an Austin version of that, I'd watch that for sure. Or Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Some of those type that I really liked, but like I didn't watch the first 2 seasons of The Real World that they're doing so far. So we get a night out, more Jody Alton talking.
Did they kiss?
I don't know. Like
It looks like they did.
Maybe I don't know. But basically more of him just saying, being in love's not like being drunk and then being sober. Like you still have like feelings after you're done. And
love is a weird thing.
Yeah, and she's like, I understand that. And then,
well, she told him, she's like, I've been there before. I know what you're going through. And he said, well, I haven't been there.
You know what that reminded me of though when she did that. She's like, I've been there before. It's when your brother.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know,
yeah,
I'm divorced.
Yeah,
it's coming up on 4 years.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, hallelujah. 4 years divorced, and my little brother, who will be 21 in July, he
never been divorced.
Has never really had a girlfriend.
Not like a serious relationship.
No, he's talked to a girl or two for 4 or 5 weeks,
but no relationship. Experience.
Well, a couple years ago, he had so that'll put him at 18, 19 years old. Got his first kiss.
Was this that many years ago? I thought it was more recent than that.
No,
he was 19,
remember.
so it was like a year and a half.
Okay.
He was 19. I remember he was 19, but he's turning 21 this year. So anyway, he got his first kiss, and they talked for about 3 weeks. He was super into this girl, and I guess she just, high school girls, just like, probably saw some cute guy at the soccer field and wanted to move on to him. I don't know, because he plays soccer. And He called me one night and just kind of went straight into it by saying, I now know what you felt. I didn't just go, I mean, I was with this girl for 6 years.
I know, but that's what was so funny. He's like, I know what your hurt was now.
I know what it feels like now.
Yeah.
And as much as I wanted...
And by the way, dead serious.
Dead serious.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke. It's funny to us because it's crazy, but it was not a joke on his part.
And I couldn't, I knew he was hurting because love is weird. Love hurts. But at the same time, I'm just like, no.
Not even close.
No, you don't. But anyway.
But here's the thing. He's a lot softer than you are.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Like, I feel like
and he walks like a lizard.
I feel like I feel incredible maternal instincts around him. I feel like I have to protect him, like my child.
He needs it.
I know. I legitimately worry about him a lot.
We talked about it before we started recording. He told me he wants to go to New York by himself, and I was like, that's not a good idea.
He's never been anywhere by himself.
I know, and I was like, New York is not the city to do that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, post credits, Mark is laying his head by the toilet, sleeping, and he's got his leg propped up, like he's you know how when you're sitting in a chair and you put one leg up over the other. He's doing that, but laying on the floor by where a pee is.
Yeah.
And they tried to help him out, and he's just like, I just want you to leave.
He wanted them to shut the door too, leave him in privacy. It was weird. But I guess maybe that's something he does when he's drunk. Just lay in the bathroom floor.
He needs that pee smell as close to his head as possible.
It might be sobering him up.
You know what, Mark? You do what you gotta do.
Speaking of Mark, next episode, he tells the other vet guys that every guy that they lose makes them weaker, but every guy the rookies lose makes the rookies stronger.
Because they haven't weeded out their bad players on the rookies yet.
Yeah, they have
weaker guys.
That's the thing.
Yeah, Brad. It kind of from that conversation, Brad and the other vet guys are talking, and that's when Brad and some of the other ones, I guess, agreed that Beth is a cancer to the team. And David and them were talking about how no one likes her and she's causing confrontation. And then Timmy was just like, well, just someone's gonna have to bang her. And I was like, I appreciate Timmy in all of this.
And then they all did the nose goes.
Well, that was later. That was at the end of the episode.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. They did the thing where whoever touched their nose last is the one that has to do it, and it was Mark. And Mark's like, I'm not doing it. And then David was like, if I do it, how much are you gonna cut me from the winnings if you guys win? And he's like, because if it's not enough, he's like, then I just had a bad time and a bad night, and I have to go home.
Bad memories.
Yeah.
What was the game we used to play with a bunch of our friends?
Halo
what
2.
are the odds?
Oh, I was gonna say Halo 2.
Oh, Zach and I talked about that a few weeks ago because I was like, "Hey, remember when you used to carry dice around in your pocket all the time?"
There. Yeah, we made up. Me and a guy named Chris made up the rules for it, and then one of our other friends took it and
he would
completely changed the rules.
But he would also go out of his way to make it the worst things because he wanted it to be uncomfortable and gross. And dumb.
I've actually I saw on one, I think it was either a TikTok cringe or something that it may have been a meme compilation. Someone else was playing a game along those lines. But theirs was what a number out of 20 would you do this? And yeah, and then 1, 2, 3, and then they both said the same number, so she had to do it. That's not exactly the way that the rules were supposed to be. Ours had Dungeons and Dragons dice involved,
right.
the D20s, which makes it more fun because then you have to whip out dice.
I just would never do any of it.
Yeah, the guy that really wanted us to do it a lot, his was way too aggressive.
He was over the top with it to where it wouldn't make it fun anymore.
Yeah. But
even if you weren't playing, if you were watching somebody else do it, it was not fun to be there.
So we get some exposition of like Cara and Susie still saying they feel left out. And I was like, it's girls' elimination. That's probably setting up for something with them.
Well, Susie said that like their team was purposely keeping her and Kara out and away from everybody else. They're being super exclusive. And then it cuts to Keena, and Keena's like, they're totally isolating themselves, and it's not my fault that they're acting like they don't want to be part of this team.
Yeah, she's like, they're good competitors, but them hanging out a lot makes them like a threat to the group. And I was like, I think they're just hanging out because no one else likes them, it seems.
It's a lack of communication. They both have their minds made up, and no one's changing their minds.
We talked about last time, Keena, the confrontational leader.
Yeah, I'm. This is one person that throughout the show, watching it so far, not a fan.
Keena?
Yeah, I don't actively like root for or against people, but in that elimination, I was like,
I wanted Cara to win.
I wanted Keena to go home.
Yeah,
I don't like her.
Yeah, I don't think Cara would have been a good group leader or anything, but I just...
Keena's just annoying.
Yeah, I agree. How'd you feel about Timmy's outfit to dress up as the lady with the big long shirt with the bikini on and then the mullet wig?
It's a classic Walmart beach t-shirt. You find it like Panama City.
I wish he would have wore it during the daily.
I thought he was going to.
Yeah,
and then he didn't, and I was really disappointed.
Well, perfect timing because it's, what is it? Women's History Month?
Is it currently? Yeah.
So, also, I guess known by some people as Women Empowerment Month.
Okay. But who's that?
By learning women's history, you are empowering women.
Right. There it is.
Right.
What's the history of women?
Y'all go read about Harriet Tubman.
Okay. Have you ever...
Powerful woman. All right.
You've seen that Billy on the Street clip where he walks up to that girl and he's like, name a woman. And she's like, name a woman. He's like, name a woman and I'll give you $1. And she can't do it because she's so put on the spot.
He's like, come on, any woman ever. And she's like, I can't.
Yeah. That's a good... Billy on the Street's a good show. So the daily is just called Pull Me. And that's where Fandango comes in. You get a year's supply of movie tickets, which I wonder if that's like you get like 2 a week. Or something. I mean, I don't think it's 1 a day.
That's what I was wondering. Like, I was like, okay, how many times do you get to go to the movies? Could you go to a movie every day? Like, you get 1 ticket per day? Because
even if I
what time? What year was this?
2003.
Okay, and how many weeks are in a year? 52.
52. Why does the year matter?
How much were movie tickets?
I don't know. It depends on what city you live in.
Well, let's say they were $5 a piece. Does that sound right?
Seems a little low.
Okay, let's do 7.
$8.50.
We'll do 9.
Because we just went to a movie in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It was $21 for a matinee.
We also went to a very
special one.
Like tri-screen, like immersive
But
thing.
It was $21 a ticket for a matinee.
Yeah, but that's also crazy. So if they're $9 a ticket in 2000, God, what year? 6?
What are you trying to do? Do you know the inflation amount from 2003 to now?
No, I'm comparing. Up until this point, they kept giving out $1,000 gift certificates.
Yes. Or a GPS last episode.
Yeah.
Or actually, though, it's not been that way because in one episode, Keena won a Nintendo DS, which is probably like $300 or $400.
Okay. Well, I forgot about the Nintendo DS, but I do know that there were several weeks where it was $1,000 gift certificate, and I was like, okay, well, free movie tickets for a year. Even if you go, if you go
for you and a friend,
if you go once a week for every single week, if tickets were $9 a piece, it's $468
for one person.
For one person.
So you multiply that by 2.
I didn't hear him say that it was for 2 people.
It's for you and a friend.
I thought it was for just her.
But again, regardless, I would assume it's probably 1 a week or like 4 a month, and you can just divvy it up however you want. I don't think if I won that prize, I would want to go once a week.
Mm-mm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
There's not new movies.
There's only so many movies coming out that you want to see.
I've been to the movies more recently in like the last month or so than I probably have during the entire pandemic.
Yeah. Pre-pandemic, you and I used to go to movies pretty frequently, though.
Not too. I mean,
we would go like once a month.
Maybe I've seen Uncharted and the Batman in the last like month or so, and that's 2 movies in a row that.
You got another one coming up in Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
There it is.
Do not. I'm not going to that.
So,
Yes,
basically, the way that this works is you split up your team, and you have X amount hold the rope, and then the other ones are on the thing, and you're just trying to keep them out of the water. And you have one person on the very end that's the quote anchor, and if you make it to 30 minutes, you still haven't dropped them, then the anchor has to stop holding, and then it's just whoever's left. So
that first round by the rookies killed them.
yeah,
Yeah.
horrible.
It was
11
really
minutes,
bad.
11 seconds.
Horrible.
Awful.
Yeah, especially with like Alton and some of those guys that were like involved in it.
MJ.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if they distributed the weight weird or what, but
Well, Mark was watching and he said this game or this strategy, it's not about pulling, it's about resistance. You're resisting the rope from pulling you basically, but you're not actively pulling on the rope. And he said what they needed to do was get really low to the ground, put your butt on the floor, and just lock the rope in under your arm so that you're not pulling with your hands and your forearms so much. You're just using your back and your weight to hold you in place. And so everybody on this first rookies heat, they were like kind of standing up, almost like completely standing up, and they were pulling with their forearms. And 11 minutes and 11 seconds in, they're out.
yeah, it's just a bad showing because every other heat went basically 3 times as long. And like the veterans, the best time was the next heat, which they went 33 minutes and 1 second, and then the rookies in round 2 went 30 minutes and 10 seconds, which means that after their anchor let go, they only lasted 10 more seconds, and then they were done. And then the heat 2 for the veterans, they went like 27. They only needed like 10 minutes, but they went like 27 something minutes. They said just for the heck of it, is what Derek said.
Good morale builder. Good for
Yeah. He wanted to prove that they could do it.
Yeah, so like the rookies' total time was 41:21, and the veterans' time was 1 hour and 3 seconds. And so going to deliberation, and again the rookies do it completely different, where the leader, captain, just gets to call out whoever they want, and she chooses Kara. Everyone knew it was going to be Kara. Her reasoning was, I think this person will be a good leader if I go home, which
I don't think she thinks that.
No, that's not true. And so TJ's like, cool, you did it fast, let's spin the wheel. Captain's choice again. And
Again?
Yeah, like it's just like
It's almost like it's rigged.
it is like this is way too much. So Keena picks name the coconut.
Name that coconut.
Well, okay, I must have read it wrong then. And it's the one that happened really early on in the season. Like
Between two of the guys.
I want to say it was Derek.
It was Derek.
And somebody else. But it was early on. Maybe one of the first guy
I
elimination.
think so, yeah. I think that's how Derek became leader,
Yeah, and
team captain.
so anyway,
that's
basically
right.
it's just trivia, and you have everybody's name, and you just gotta pull out the right coconut and get into like a safe zone. And these are questions I did not know the answers to, because they were, and it was interesting that it wasn't all challenge related. It's honestly related mostly to like real world and road rules stuff. So you had to know the history of the people that
Coming
you were on the
on.
show with. And I mean, Keena wins every round. Like
5-0.
yeah, they did have a tray you play in round
They
4.
did.
I think it's the same song they used a couple episodes ago.
I learned something new. MJ and Landon have matching tattoos.
I did know that one when they said who has the matching tattoo, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be MJ, because
It's a real world.
I was like,
Philly
they're on
thing.
the real world, yeah. and they were really close. But like the other ones, like Julie got kicked out of college because she went to BYU, and that was against the rules. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know who she mud wrestled on her season. I didn't know that when Puck got kicked off that what's her name?
Joanne,
whatever her name. The girl that called the Trinidad and Tobago police. I didn't know she was his replacement. There was just stuff like that. Like I just wouldn't have known.
Well, Kara was awful.
True. She did kind of fight though. At least like she put up a fight, but it didn't matter.
The only round that she got the coconut first, her answer was wrong.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Yeah.
She got it first another time, but Keena just ripped it away from her.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
But the actual round that she got the coconut to TJ first, wrong answer, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, and it was a dumb answer. It was like she picked Jody, and it was the one about Joanne or whatever, which was about Puck, which was from like one of the early seasons of the Real World. So like Jody's
on
a rookie. Like she was a rookie from Road Rules even.
She's not even from the Real World.
Yeah, and so that was anyway. Not a great elimination, but Jake's girl Keena's hanging around.
Yeah.
So they go back to the house. You got 20 minutes or whatever, and Keena comes in and is like, "Hey, you got any final words? I don't want to be combative about this, but what do you think?"
Well, she did start off by congratulating her for playing well.
But she also was coming in
very.
I know
backhanded,
she was being aggressive.
It was like, you did really good. Before you go, do you got any words that I can get in a fight over about?
she said, "This is your chance."
Yeah, and she's like, "No combat." And so Kara tries to start talking, and then she cuts her off. And Kara's like, "I thought you said that I could talk and there was no combativeness or whatever." And I was like, that's just a weird thing to do. No one else has done exit interviews like that. You good? You gonna sneeze again? Yep.
Yeah. Bless you.
That's
You
two.
had the over-under on sneezes at 1.5. You had the
Well,
over.
your first
got it.
sneeze, you looked like you were gonna pass out.
Yeah. You can feel it.
You got really
Get
dizzy.
the nose tickling.
You
You
reached
feel.
for my chair like you
Like you
needed
had
help.
your hands out, like you were
Yeah.
like, somebody give me like something to lean on.
Who's got my back? That's what Scott Stapp said. Who's got my back now?
He also said Marlins will soar.
Yeah.
He did. God, I hate that song.
So Kara says her and Susie will be lifetime buddies as she leaves. I don't know if that's true. I honestly don't know if they kept up with each other after this.
I don't have any idea.
The goodbye was real weird. I actually asked myself at one point, are they together?
No.
I get it, but I don't know.
It was strange. I
kinda
noticed
odd.
that.
Do you think it's just been because they have been so isolated from the group?
And from the world.
Maybe, but Kara said it's like I'm dying,
Yeah,
she
it
also
was.
told Susie,
and it
she's
wasn't said in it's like I'm dying.
yeah. She also
No,
told Susie,
it's
"I
like
wish I could
serious.
bring you with me," and I was like, "Well, then Susie wouldn't have a chance at money."
Yeah, like I I caught that. I was like, why would you wish for her to lose?
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
It was weird. And then we have more of the Beth who has to bang Beth talk, which we already covered earlier.
Nose goes.
You got any final thoughts for this episode? But either episodes?
Yeah.
Daily from the first one was not good.
Yeah, this season the dailies have been very
Miss.
yeah.
I mean, we know anyway. Like the dailies in this era are kind of more like carnival-esque, but these are very like
This
they just ain't anything.
This
to 'em.
seems like it's trying to move into the direction that we know, but they haven't figured out the formula to do it. Like it's like they're trying to get away from the really like carnival backyard style and step it up, but there's a lot of missteps and a lot of stuff that just doesn't. Like I can't tell you how many dailies where it's just like, well, it was supposed to be whoever has the most people remaining, but no one has fallen off. So we're gonna have tiebreakers, or so, like they've had boulders fall apart. Like it's just like there's been a lot of missteps. But I believe this is a Justin Booth season. Mm-hmm. I believe. So who smashed the mids?
That is it Buccaneer? Is that what they called it?
That was the daily.
Yeah, that daily smashed all their heads because they just couldn't
The
do
rookies
it.
figured it out though.
at the very end, and they got one person off.
That's
at
all you
the very
needed.
end.
Also, I don't think it was at the very. We don't know how long it was.
But everybody struggled with trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's just it was. There wasn't enough give to like what they were doing.
Who smashed heads?
Yeah.
Oh heck, I don't know. You know what?
Your horse.
I'll give it to Keena for. No, I don't want to give her nothing. I don't know. Is there a clear cut? Like
I had a hard time picking something.
I'm gonna say Derek because Cyrus has 70 pounds on him and he beat him in the worst possible elimination for him to pick.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give it to Alton.
Okay.
Love is weird.
That's true.
It is.
So who got their head smashed?
Now that one I got.
Derek smashed his own head with this stupid hat.
Mark, because he was laying by urine.
That's true.
I thought they said he was laying in urine.
Either way, head smashed.
Yeah. You know, if you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna, I guess, give it to Kara for her weird. Like she's acting like her. I'd rather be dead. Or whatever she said. What was it?
I'd rather be dead. I feel like I'm dying.
I feel like I'm dying. Yeah. Either way, weird sentiment to go out on. And you lost to Keena, who I don't think any of us wanted to stay. Keena's weird because, like, even though I don't like Beth at all, at least Beth is a villain and like entertaining, and like Keena is just like not that. I don't know. It's weird. So, anyway, way under on the coughing. You guys all suck, and so we'll be back with you. Hopefully, not as long of a break because I don't have the flu anymore. But at Smashing Heads on Twitter, at Smashing Heads Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Guess what? I've got coughs to give.
That counts as 2.
No, that's 1.
No.
And so anyway, well, I don't even remember the one that Smash Heads. Patreon.com/Smashing Heads Podcast, and again, we I don't remember what I was gonna say. I've had the flu and I'm on cough medicine, so screw you guys.
And as I always say, have a good night, everyone.